beat the previous held record of 21 speeches in 24 hours. Franco will be making 23 speeches in 14 hours. Good for you, Franco. To meet this strict deadline, Franco will have to depart the venue immediately after each speech. Franco and his family sincerely appreciate you attending the speech and your support for this event. His team will need to take a photo of the audience for evidence at the end of the speech. We ask you please remain where you are after the speech. Each of the speeches are different from one another, but share an overall theme, facing our fears and challenges. So, finally, here's Franco to present speech number 17 of 23, entitled Out on a Limb. Please join us to welcome Frank Sanko.
We're all set. Thank you again. Thanks, Tony, for the introduction. Thank you very much to everyone for supporting this event and supporting with your attendance here, and appreciate it, members of the public as well. There's an old proverb that says, "Those who deliberate fully before taking the first step will spend an entire lifetime on one leg." And it was kind of fitting for this speech, and one of the things I learned about undertaking this event and the message for this particular speech is that much can be gained from going out on a limb once in a while. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but there's a lesson I learned in taking on this event. Going out on a limb once in a while can be helpful. What do I mean by going out on a limb? To me, going out on a limb is to take a calculated risk, to go where few have gone before. Given this, why don't we do this more often? Why don't we put ourselves out there, go out on a limb more often? Well, mainly, the first thing is that we are hardwired to stay with the collective, to stay in groups. And we're social. Humans are social beings. Our ancestors, who were at the time talking about the prehistoric ancestors, were the prey. And so it was important for humans to stay in groups, to stay with the collective. Because stepping out of that group, that collective, meant certain death. And so we're hardwired to want to stay together as a group, stay with the group. But it's not much different today. You know, humans now are more fearful of social death and stepping out in the crowd, standing up in front of an audience, and speaking and sharing ideas. So given that this makes us fearful, the social death of embarrassment, ostracization, vulnerability, why is it beneficial to do it once in a while? I learned a few things about that, and I'd like to share those with you. Hopefully there's some lessons you can take away from what I learned. You can apply to your professional lives, your personal lives, your work within the community. The first thing I learned is that it's empowering. I realized early on in the process that there was no one coming to the rescue. There's no safety net. Putting yourself out there, meaning that there's no way you can ever put yourself back. And sharing something personal with one group, let alone 23 groups, can be challenging, but it's also empowering. And it felt in many ways going into an uncharted territory. But in doing that, I discovered new places, new people that I would never have ever discovered or met had I not walked out on a limb. I equate it a lot of times when I travel. When I travel, what I like to do is, yes, I do this on purpose. I like to go out into a city and get lost. Yes, I do it purposely, of course. That's what I tell myself anyway. But you go into a city you've never been before, leave the GPS, leave the map book, and just explore the city and get lost and find new ways that you wouldn't have ordinarily discovered had you been following the map. The second thing I learned about going out on a limb is that it gets juices flowing. And what I mean by that is that once I took action to undertake the event and found support throughout the community, it fueled me and inspired me to do it more. I felt more creative, more capable, more enthusiastic, and it actually helped diffuse my fears that I had in undertaking this event. And the third thing I learned in going out on a limb in this event is that it quiets that inner voice. I call it, I may be being blasphemous here, but I call it my inner Judas. What I mean by that is, it's a familiar voice that you have in your mind that tells you you can't do something. You believe it because it's coming from within. It's coming from your mind, it must be true. And I call it that because it oftentimes gives you up to failure, gives you up to quitting, gives you up to giving up. And I found that with each step in doing this attempt and planning it and meeting the various groups and planning this out and actually doing it, each step was like a bank deposit. It's a continuous building of confidence, of faith and self-assurance. So, what are some takeaways and what does it mean to you? So, number one, talk about being empowered. And in doing this, going out on a limb once in a while, whatever it may mean to you, means you're continuously empowered. Discovering new ways to help your team. Going out on a limb, you bring those things and that empowerment back to your club. And ultimately, to the community that you serve. Get the juices flowing. So what does that mean? How does that help your club? As you continue to provide service to the community, you can see the more inspired you get, and the more you want to do. As you go out on a limb once in a while, you bring that inspiration back to the club, it benefits the community that you serve. The third thing, benefit I talked about, which was to quiet that inner voice that defeats your confidence. And with each success the team builds, the confidence builds, your faith in your cause builds as well as your faith in each other. And so as each of you go out on a limb, if you may take my advice, you go out on a limb in your own lives outside of the club. These are the benefits I was talking about to bring back that benefit each other, benefit the club, and ultimately benefit the community. And with every speech I share, of course, we're doing this for the Canadian Cancer Society. And with every speech I share a story of hope that's different as well. I want to share one with you today. And it's a story of someone going out on a limb in an extreme way. You know, the definition of going out on a limb, meaning to take a calculated risk where few others have gone before. And it's a story of someone named Suzanne. Suzanne was, when she was diagnosed with cancer, she literally had days to live. At the most, she had no time of a week is what she was diagnosed with. And she had entered, I think she was in her mid-50s, and entered into palliative care. And she went out on a limb in a much more courageous way than I am today. In a place where most people don't leave, she went out on a limb to live her life most. She loved music. And there was often music played in the hospital at music nights. So her husband would take her down to listen to music shortly after she was admitted. And one of the first things she did when she heard the music playing was to get up and start dancing. Danced so much that she almost ran out of the oxygen. And her husband had to rush her back upstairs to refill the tank. The next morning, she was in the cafeteria and someone said, that worked at the hospital, said, "Hey, no one was dancing last night. We have never seen anyone do that. You're the first person we've seen get up and start dancing." And Suzanne was a fiddle player. Oftentimes her friends her band would come in and play music with her. And times when she couldn't have the strength to feed herself, she was harmonizing with the fiddle along with her friends. And she would continue on through her treatment, playing music, and they'd open all the doors on the floor so everyone could hear the music permeating. And she played and played, and she continues to play today. She defined doctors by leaving a place where most people don't leave. She's still battling cancer, but she's hiking, she's kayaking, she's playing her fiddle. She went up on a limb in the most extreme way. As her friend said, she gave a new definition to the word palliative. So my message to you then today is to go out on a limb. I'm doing it in a small way, but there are people that are here to support that are doing it in extreme ways. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time today to listen to my 10-minute speech, to participate in this larger event that's started with a personal cause, now become a community event. Thanks so much for listening to me, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks so much.